This episode of Over the Boards is brought to you by Country Inn Suites. With me today, I have owner Nate Coffin. Nate, how are you doing today?
Good, man.
Good. Nate, what has been the most exciting thing for you becoming an owner this year and being involved in the Axemen? What do you enjoy most about this organization?
Man, there's so many levels of that. But if I had to pick one, I'd say it's the community, you know. It's not all about the football operations and watching the game-winning touchdown or the game-winning field goal. It's about the kids going out on the field afterwards, you know. Watching Valentine sign a jersey or watching EJ sign a Green Bay jersey. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome. What has been one thing you've learned this year? What's been like the biggest challenge for you or biggest learning curve in the IFL and different things? What have you learned this year from being an owner?
Man, the IFL's crazy, man. It's completely different than, you know, any NFL or college sport. You know, the learning curve, I guess, a little bit on what type of players that you need for this, you know. A great example, EJ, you know, gunslinger, quick. You know, we need those kind of players there. So just kind of getting to know, you know, what type of players that we need in the indoor game.
Mm-hmm. Nate, if there was one thing you could say to the Bemidji faithful, what would you say?
Oh, man, thank you. You know, this team is around for the community. You know, the support for the Axemen is key, you know, in keeping us around, you know. Without our community, we wouldn't be here, you know. And we just like to give back as much as we can, too, so.
Also, along with that, Nate, some awesome sponsors we have, you know, we wouldn't be around with them as well. Is there something you'd like to say to our sponsors?
Man, the sponsors are what makes us tick, you know. They're kind of our heartbeat, you know. Without them, we're nothing, you know. We don't even have these balls without Shannon Miller.
So, Nate, we got some big home games coming up. You want to tell us a little bit about the April 10th game and the April 18th game?
Man, April 10th game, we're going to pack the place out and we're going to get loud. That's one thing I noticed last week is we really stepped up the volume at the Sanford Center. We had horns going, we had bells rolling, everybody was screaming. I take that win as our community. A big part of the community was part of that win, Matt.
Nate, what are your thoughts on our coaching staff and Coach Wooten and his staff, Andy and Aquanius and Pete and Coach Lee? What are your thoughts on them? I know we're a pretty tight-knit group here. We're a family. What are your thoughts on the coaching staff and the job that they're doing?
That's heart, man. That's the one word that I could say about our coaching staff is heart. Every single one of those, you'll get 100% every day, no matter what. They're 100 miles an hour all the time. You know, they're in the community, then they're working football operations, and they're working with the guys. They're working to get people in. We're going to get people to the next level. You know, I put Jawan, you know, getting his start, and T.O., I put those on the coaching staff, man. They did a great job at helping those guys reach, you know, that next level.
Nate, when you look at Bemidji, compared to other IFL markets, this is the smallest market, hands down, probably close to 100,000 people smaller than any other market in the league. What challenges does that, you know, present? And for us to be able to sustain a team of Bemidji, that means we must be doing some things right.
Yeah, you know, again, the community is key here. You know, if we can pack out the Sanford Center every game, if we can get the kids involved, you know, because that's what it's about. It's about our kids. If we can get this community just to wrap and embrace this team, and show up for some football games, man, that could go a long way in keeping this team here for a long time.
And Nate, if someone ever wanted to get involved with the Axemen or want some Axemen to come to their business or their school, how would they go about that? Call
the Axemen office. We're there for the community. Like I said, if you have an organization, you know, that needs some help with fundraising, if you have a company that wants a suite for a game, if you want a player to show up and do some autographs or an autographed jersey or an autographed ball, man, we want to work with you guys because, again, it is all about community.
And that's one thing, Nate, I think not everybody knows, that we donate a lot back to the community. We donate to many different benefits, and we're very, very active, and we also believe in fundraising and giving back to those nonprofits as well.
Right. We have a couple guys out at the school right now chatting about leadership. And then we're going to have some people over at the soup kitchen, you know. That's what it's all about. It's about our community and helping out, you know, in whatever way that we can to show our heart.
And what's it like also being an owner with Dan, part of your family, kind of a family ownership, to have all your family involved and be in the suite together, all your kids, your nephews, your nieces. What's that like?
Man, that's something you can't put a price tag on, you know. About family and community. Again, I keep going back to it, but that's actually what it's all about for us, you know. It's being able to bring my brother up from Rochester. You know, he comes to every game and sits with me in the suite and watches the game. My sister flew up from Oklahoma to do the national anthem, or have my dad there. You know, that's what this is about, and I think that's the kind of fan experience you can get too when you come to an Axemen game. You can bring the family around and really have a good one-on-one time with those people at an Axemen game.
Absolutely. Favorite pregame meal?
Pre-game meal. I don't eat before games.
Before a game.
You know, it's pretty intense. So I usually eat after, and if I were to eat, you know, before a game, I would say Giovanni's.
Giovanni's.
They're pretty
Pizza
legit,
buffet.
man.
What is one place on the road you're excited to travel to this season?
Man, I'm excited to go to Loveland. My wife's from that area. I got some friends out in Denver, so we're gonna travel out there and have a good time.
Nate, you actually have a free night off. I know you have 5 kids. Well, you have one more on the way.
Mm-hmm.
When you and Angie have free time, where do you take her on a date?
Man, that's a pretty loaded question right there. If I were to take her on a date, we'd probably go to Applebee's.
Okay.
Get some 2-for-1 appetizers.
This episode of Over the Boards with Nate Coffin has been brought to you by Country Inn and Suites of Bemidji, the official housing sponsor of the Bemidji Axemen. Oh, she's Dave. What's up, Swarty? Dave. Yeah, what's up?